20 years ago, a seed was planted and cared for. We painstakingly nurtured it and weathered it against adversity until one day it blossomed and the fruits of our labor began to show. Today, millions have learned, shared, and been inspired by what our community has produced. We proudly served 21 million users from 204 countries in 2019. For our 85,000 technical articles, code samples, and videos, our 450,000 forum questions, and our highly anticipated conferences and events featuring keynote panels, live streams, and industry experts and influencers. We recognize and reward members for their dedication to the community. Through content contributions and mentorships, we ranked number 2,620 in the world with a reach of millions across our social media channels. Thanks to you, our global community of software and data developers grows stronger each day. For more information, visit us at CSharpCorner.com.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from today. This is Growth Mindset Show. Welcome, Ganesh, to the show. This is after I took some time off, was traveling and other things. So welcome back to the show. I'm excited to have this show today. We have a lot of good thing going on here um, with the community and other things here as well. So Simon, let's get this going. You want to share the screen? My name is Mahesh Chand. I'm founder of CSharpCorner. I'm here outside of Philadelphia. So winter is here. Winter is full-fledged here. It's, I think, 30 degrees today. So outside it's windy. There's going to be a lot more staying inside indoors these days. So yeah, let's get this going. So today's topic is less is more. And less is more is, again, as a part of growth mindset show, we are always focusing on the growth and how we get better day by day, on different things, doing different things, and mostly around, productivity, growth in life and professional life, get the things done faster. And today's topic is less is more. As you can guess, less is more. So that's where, in the end of this show, I'm going to share 5 of my tips that makes my life easier. And if I do less, I get more out of it. How cool is that? You do less and you get more results. Is that cool? So I will share 5 of my tips. As some of you may already know, this show is for you. If feel free to chime in, post your comments, share what you think, thoughts are, what you like, dislike, anything you want to share on the show. Just feel free to post comment on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you're joining us from. So yes, so all right, let's see if I can do my screen. There you go. All right, so I have a new slide feature here in the StreamYard now. Cool. Thank you, StreamYard, for giving us this new feature where I can control my own slides. So first time in 2 years, I traveled. The week, not last week, week before that, I traveled to Las Vegas. As you can see from this, it was good. Travel was fine. Obviously, people are wearing masks on the planes and also inside the buildings and so on and so forth. But it was a good travel. I had some business meetings and I have a couple of conferences to attend in Vegas. Overall, it was good to get going there, get moving. And now I'm going again this tomorrow. Actually, I'm flying to Miami for another conference. So that means conferences are start kicking out and start meeting in person and so on and so forth. There's another news came on new COVID variant supposed to be out there, and that's more dangerous. So we will see how things go. But we are thinking about doing the live in-person conference in C Sharp Corner annual conference and working with hotels to come up with some dates. Unfortunately, dates don't look so favorable for us right now. So Simon is working on those. Maybe Simon has an update on that. Um, so we have another .NET conference coming up in January. Simon, you want to share something? So .NET conference is coming up in January, and that's going to cover .NET 6. That's exciting. The Microsoft just announced .NET 6 earlier this month with C Sharp 10, F Sharp, I think F Sharp 6. So there's a lot of coverage coming on that. So if you work with C Sharp and .NET and .NET 6 want to learn what new things are there, we will be that'll be the main focus of this conference. It's a virtual conference. It's in January, so check out the conference URL is .netconference.com. Um, so that's the next conference actually coming up. It will be virtual for now. All right. So after Vegas trip, I came home and I got this cool goodies from Simon. So they are right here. So I got a note, handwritten note. It looks like got this notes, handwritten note. You can read it. This was awesome. Great card. I like it. It has Stratus on it. Thank you, Stratus, for sponsoring the conference. This side it has C Corner. And the envelope has sponsors. Oh, cool envelope, huh? Very well thought, very well planned. Got some Azure stickers. I don't know if Microsoft is allowed to use those stickers or not. I'm not going to use it anyway. Uh, but thank you for the stickers. I'm sure somebody will use it, and I don't want to put on my anything where Microsoft. Oh, why are you using the sticker? Oh, okay, whatever. We got some cool goodies from Stratus keychain. Um, so in the US, we don't really use keychain. Yeah, nobody does really these days. Maybe some do. I don't. My key is usually in my pocket with nothing on it, but this is cool. I'm sure some people find it very useful. And then I got this is very useful right here, definitely charger, where I can charge multiple things, especially yeah, the different couple of this is useful actually for chargers from the laptop. I always need this. So great, thank you, Simon and the team, Atul Gupta and everybody who worked hard on. Excuse me. So yeah, since I came from Vegas, I think I have a little cold. It's been a while. Not sure what's going on. I did COVID check. It's negative. And then the last thing, we're not done yet. This is a cool little trophy and with the Azure Summit or Cloud Summit now you call it. It has a C Sharp corner and a Stratus logo on it. It says Cloud Summit and personalized. It's very personalized with the name. Awesome. That's great. I'm sure I love it. I'm sure most of the speakers they love it and put in their showcase. So that was cool. Um, good stuff. Let's move to the next slide. All right. So there's more excitement. Basketball action is back now. I mean, it's been back for a while. Um, my son's team they won a championship, so that was good to see. Awesome, and it was fun. And then first time I saw a team score 110 points in high school game. That was amazing. Fireworks, a lot of three pointers. Uh, yes, Simon's handwriting is definitely superb. As I said, everybody, if you're joining us from wherever you're joining us from, let us know where you're joining us from. What you like, dislike, in the show. You learn anything from the show. We're trying to cut the show down to, half an hour because we thought 1 hour is pretty long for some people. So yeah, just if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask any kind of questions here. Um, no question is a bad question. So yeah, first time saw high school game 110 points. So high school games are usually these games were 32 minutes. So in 32 minutes, 100 points, 10 points, a lot of points. Fun part, fun part. All right, so here is a big news right here. Yesterday, not last night, night before, C Sharp Corner organized an event at GL Bajaj Institute of Technology and Management. It's in Noida. It's pretty good college, I would say. Um, and with the Stratus, we launched an R&D center at the college. In C Sharp Corner Stratus combined launch an R&D center. And the purpose of the center really is what I'm finding is that there's a lot of blockchain work is happening and cryptocurrency is happening. I'm working on several projects now, companies now. It's hard to find blockchain developers. I mean, in general, it's hard to find all kind of developers, but blockchain is even harder because it's hard for even young students to learn these concepts. It's a little complicated than just learning programming. It's more than programming, right? You have to know programming, obviously, but you have to know certain other things as well. So what we did is we partnered with this college and they opened this R&D center. But one thing we are doing is we are also launching a curriculum in there. I think fourth or fifth semester of their master's and MCA program. Details have still yet to come. What does that mean? Is that in their degree program, they are going to learn Stratus blockchain. So when they graduate, and while they're learning Stratus blockchain in college, we are actually going to work with them on some projects. So that'll be cool. So by the time they graduate, they will already know how to, write code and build blockchain applications using Stratus. So that was pretty cool. It was in-person event. It was good to see a lot of people in person. Um, so yeah, that was fun. The event was at night here around midnight, so that was good. I'm sure if you follow social media, you saw probably some posts there. So that was those were some updates. So now let's talk about the topic. Today's topic is less is more. Um, oh, looks like you can see all the my tips here. They were supposed to be not. They were supposed to be hidden here first time. And I want you to actually chime in and tell me if you're agreeing with that or disagreeing, or you have more tips. I want to hear your tips too. These are just my tips, right? You may have your own tip. What makes you better? How you do you become productive? How do you, optimize your time? So let's start with this. Less is more. And most of them are really, really my personal experience. Okay. Uh, so it's really that's where personally I learn, I practice, and I share here. So let's start with tip number one: spend less time on social media. That's my favorite. um, Average people, as you know, spend 3+ hours each day on social media and other similar apps. That's a lot of time. That's like I calculated, and I think I wrote somewhere or shared. It's like 8 years of your life. Think about it. So you have 24 hours in a day. Out of that, you end up sleeping 7, 8 hours in a day. So that goes your one third is gone. So now you only have what left? 16 hours, right? Out of 16 hours, I'm sure, 6 to 8 hours goes to work. So now you only have 8 hours left. And out of that 8 hours now, um, if you spend 3 hours on your social media, that's a lot of time you're spending on social media. Unless it's work, unless it's productive, unless it's making you, helping you in some kind of growth, personal, professional, business, whatever. If you're using it as a tool, that's great. Definitely use it, and that's supposed to be the best use of it. But if you're just using it to waste time, right, that's a lot of time. Pushpender, good to see you back here. Ganesh, yes, I'm glad you like these tips. Um, so there is some, you got to evaluate your time. Most of us, we look at our finances, we look at our bank accounts, we look at our monthly expenses and budget things out, but we don't budget our time. So you have to also, it's very important to budget our time to see where are we spending our time. because that's really what can make you move faster from point A to B in your career, is where and how you spend your time, right? So think of this way: when you have time not every day but once in a week, or maybe sometimes some people do every day for 5 minutes. If they evaluate your day in the end of the day, so before sleeping or whenever at late, so, okay, what did I do today? Where did I spend my time today? Okay, I worked, I went to dinner, I did lunch, blah blah, I watched this TV. But what else? There is there any time where you said, you know what, that was not a good time? It's fine to watch TV when you're relaxing, but if you are on social media, it's not really relaxing. Most social media is actually, it affects in a negative way if you are not being productive there. You read other people's stuff, then you start, questioning yourself. Your mind start thinking too much stuff, right? So that's how it's not really relaxing. Social media actually increases anxiety. Why does it do that? Do you have ever thought like why social media increases anxiety and all that? It's because it's not real, right? People don't stuff real. I mean, they do some, but most of the time, social media, we post stuff only like how cool things are, how great our life is growing. Nobody really puts, true stuff out there. People today are more interested in sharing their lunch or dinner photos on social media and then worry about how many likes they are getting. If they don't get likes, you start scrolling your phone. Like, what's going on? Rather than focusing and enjoying your food. You're focus during the now you're eating, your food is there, you're ignoring the food, you don't even pay attention to food. You're just checking, oh, how many people like picture of my food. So that's pretty much useless to me. It's like, but hey, again, we live in a social revolution. That's what people are right now. Right now, social is growing. So anyway, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but at least think about it, like how much time you are spending. Is it really useful? If it's useful, then sure, go ahead, keep doing it. That's great. All right. So that was my number tip. What do you think about my number one tip? Do you guys agree, disagree? Do you think I'm going overboard on social media? Um, so yeah, I want to hear from you. Number two, speak less and learn more, right? So I mean, most people in tech, they speak less in general, but once in a while you'll see one guy you meet in a meeting, an event, and I do all the time. I run a, in any conference I go, there's one or two guys. All they do is talk, 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 and they're trying to sell themselves. They think that more they talk, more other people will like them or understand how great they are. But it's actually not a good thing. It's a reverse psychology here. If you talk less and listen more, chances are you will learn more. That's how it is, right? So only way to learn is to listen, right? It's not speak. When you're speaking something, you're saying something, you already know that. You're just repeating yourself, right? When we talk to somebody, we say things a lot. We are saying things we already know. Just like repeating ourselves, we don't learn anything. The only way we learn is when we don't talk and listen or read. So think about that. And I'm not saying these points are right or wrong. Some points may work for you. Some points may not work for you. Some points you may like. Some you don't like. Just let me know what you think. But these are some things they work for me. So I'm sharing these my tips. So less thinking about others, right? This is my favorite point. Like, why do we care what other people do unless they are affecting our lives? That's the important part. Sometimes we think too much about things they don't matter to us. Basically, we are spending our time thinking about things they don't matter to us. So, for example, if my neighbor is doing something, who cares? Why should I be thinking about him? He's not paying my bills. He's not helping me anything. So why do I care, right? So, it, and then a lot of people, that's what they do. They spend time about talking about, I will have talked to some friend, and out of seven, they start talking about other friends, how they're doing, what blah blah blah. Like, do I? How is it helping me? I don't care, right? All I'm doing is wasting my time talking about somebody else, which I have nothing to do. So unless you're talking about people, your friends, your family, your kids, and if you're talking about them and you can help them, then that makes sense, right? That makes sense. But if there's somebody ABC out there, just why do I really care? Why do you want to talk about those people? People or even things, right? That don't matter to you. So less talking and thinking about others will give you more time to think about yourself and do other things. um, so these are just things we do every day. That's how it is. And do you even wonder? Let me ask you this and see if you can anybody can reply that. I'm not going to answer that. Do you do you really yeah, that's a good comment right there, Pushpinder. I agree. I agree. I'm just, yeah, the point is I'm making is that if you're already doing, you're helping social media, that's great. That's how it should be, right? But what I'm talking about is most people do. And that's a trend. It's not, business people are smart, right? So people who are successful in life, they are smart. The reason they are successful is they already know how to use these tools. Successful people already know how to use these tools. That's why they're successful. So point this is about the people who are, they're trying to be successful. They want to get to the level where they call themselves successful. That's the point I'm making here. Um, so yeah, I was thinking about that. Why do we think about other people? Do you ever wonder why do we think about other people? Do you ever wonder why we always want to tell that how great we're doing? Do you ever wonder why we always want to show that how smart we are, how good, we are better than everybody else in general? I'm not, and again, I'm not saying everybody, but most people, right? Answer me. I want to see if you can answer me, then I'll come back to this point later. All right. So far so good. We covered three of my tips. Let's go to the fourth one. Keep less clutter in your mind. That's again, it's similar to the first one. I mean, third one. So our mind, if you can start thinking that our mind is like a computer, right? If our mind is like a computer, less applications we run, less background threads we run, more cleaner it is. Better way, more you can think about it, right? So sometimes we are running certain things. Let's say, I don't know, you have a fight with a friend or a coworker or your spouse, or something happened and you just keep inside yourself. That's not good. That's not healthy. You are still thinking about that. Your brain is actually engaged in doing that certain activity, even though your actions are not showing. You are mad at somebody, for example, and you don't resolve that. So regardless of what, your brain is still processing the data in the background. It's like a background thread is running, taking your memory resources, your CPU resources, and your hard drive. It's same, right? So best ways to resolve those issues, have less clutter running in your mind. That's the best way. And you'll feel better after you talk about it. It could be anybody's fault, but once you talk about it, if you're mad at somebody, just let it out. And that's what, if you talk to these psychologists and psychiatrists, that's what they say. You could talk to somebody about certain things. And once you talk about these things, what it does is that the background thread is now closed. One less application running in your brain. That means you will feel better. And you also have more time to focus on other things. Does that make sense? Relation of brain with computer. What do you think about it? Yeah, so that's a good point too. That we need to, yeah, we can compare to, yeah. So this is like a this is a big deal in Indian culture, right? So I grew up in Indian culture too. Even your parents always try to tell you like, oh, look at, he has a car, you don't have a car. He has a house, you don't have a car. That's the worst thing I think you can do. Compare is great, but I don't think comparison really matters as long as you are focusing on yourself. Definitely, it's a good point and good tip. People who focus on themselves and don't compare with others are always, you will see they're always happy and healthy. And in their own words, they are successful, right? Because they don't really care. Um, I 100% agree with that. Um, and everybody's different, right? Somebody's sure you can't really compare. Often we usually compare with people who are who have more than us in terms of wealth, money, fame, whatever else. So um, so anyway, good point. Very good point, guys. All right, so we have 4 more minutes to go, 3 more minutes to go. So my last tip is less things around you gives you more focus. This is my personal tip. Like if you look at my office or my work table, you will only find two, three things there, unless I'm doing a show. You will not find anything there. Just one laptop. That's it. I don't like to have 100 things around me and surrounded by like looks like a spaceship where million things going on. So personally, it works for me. I like to focus one thing at a time. I don't do million things together. I don't do like, oh, I'm jumping here, talking to this. If I like to do things, then that's how I get my work done. Is I don't have things around me. Even on the desk, I will not have a paper. Um, so that's kind of, it gives me more focus. So maybe, if you think your desk is too cluttered, maybe try to see if this thing works for you. So with that said, I think those were my 5 tips. Less is more on the topic. And then next week, I'm gonna come up with some other topic. Let's see what it is. I don't know yet. I'm gonna work on it. Maybe on the plane coming back from Miami. Uh, with that said, that concludes our topic. If you have any questions, feel free to post here. We are here a couple of more minutes, but I want you to go back to our conference, right? So in January, we have .NET conference coming up. And then in we are still thinking about, we don't know exact dates for the C Sharp Corner annual conference. It's still going to be in Delhi. We are not changing the venue. I know there was a lot of some discussions on Twitter and social media about that. We are still going to do in Delhi. And now you'll say, why do we do in Delhi all the time? Why not Bangalore? Why not Pune? There's so many people out there. Why not Hyderabad? Well, the biggest challenge with us is that being a community, that these conferences really don't make money. uh, we do get some sponsorship. That's nothing. That doesn't even cover the cost. But doing local in Delhi is we have enough people to work there, so we don't have to pay for that, right? So we have literally 50, 100 people if need to. They can help us organize all these conferences, events, speakers, driving them around. It's just we have more resources. That's number one. Number two, we have partnered with these hotels. Leela Hotel is great. They give us really good discounted rates. So they don't increase rates every year. It's just we have relationship. We keep it booking in advance, so on and so forth. So those are two major reasons for us to move these in-person conferences from Delhi to anywhere else. And I hope it makes sense for everybody. Um, I also great to see. I loved to see that some in-person chapter events are start coming together. I saw Indore guys are going to start in-person events. That's great to see, and I hope this COVID doesn't create a problem. This new variant. If it doesn't, then we'll probably see more of these in-person chapter events. So with that said, looks like we don't have any more questions. I will close this today's growth mindset show. Hopefully, you learned something, and thank you so much for spending time with me on this Friday. I will see you next week. Thank you.